YouTube, welcome back to another episode of my fitness beginner series. If you haven't checked out the last video, go make sure to look at it. It was super awesome. I put a lot of time into it. If you have seen it, make sure that you liked and comment so that YouTube algorithm does this whole thing and more people see my video. Today I'm going to be going over just a few vocabulary words that I think that everybody should know when they start working out. Specifically, these are going to be geared more towards weightlifting, obviously, because that's what I understand. Some of these things you will be able to use regardless of what kind of activity that you're doing, but for the most part, they are going to be specifically geared towards weightlifting or being inside some kind of gym for that matter. But yeah, as usual, I am not a doctor, I am not a dietitian, I am not a nurse, I'm not any of those things. So whatever you take from this video and whatever I say that you decide to use is at your own free risk. I just gotta put that out there. Don't want nobody coming back saying, Morgan, Matt, you did this and this and this, and you said yada yada yada, and now my arm's fucked up. I don't want none of that on me. But yes, I am not a doctor. What you guys should know about is going to be reps or repetitions. This is basically, and I'll bloop up like a legitimate definition like over here somewhere. But basically reps is going to be whatever exercise you're doing, how many times you do it. So for instance, if you are doing a bicep curl and you are going like this, right? So curling up once, that's 1 rep. You do it twice, that's 2 reps. And this is obviously going to build into sets. But basically a rep is how many times. So the second word, obviously building off of reps, and I'm gonna try and have each of these words building off of one or the other, is sets. So a set is how many reps that you are doing. So in one set, you may do 15 reps or 10 reps, and these reps can vary within a set. And you can have multiple sets. You can have 1 set for 1 exercise, 3 sets, 4 sets. It's gonna usually say 3x and then the number of reps, or it'll just say 3 sets of 15. So the three is how many sets you're gonna do, and then of 15 is gonna be 15 reps. So you're gonna do 3 sets, and of those 3 sets, you're gonna have 15 in each of them. Hopefully that wasn't too confusing. Let me know if it was. After a set, you will have what's known as a rest. Rest time is as self-explanatory as it sounds. It's when you're going to not work out in between your sets. Your rest time can vary from as little as 30 seconds to 5 minutes, depending on what you're training for. I generally rest for about, depending on the exercise, anywhere from 1 minute and 30 seconds to 2 minutes. Usually the more intense and the more muscles required for a exercise, the longer your rest is going to be. But also that, like I just said, varies based on the person, how you're feeling. If I feel like I'm ready for another set and I've only rested for a minute, then I'm gonna go pump out that next set. No reason to sit and waste time. The next word is going to be a supersets. So this is obviously building off of your normal sets. So you have different types of sets. You can have a superset, and basically that is where you are going to be doing a set back to back. This can be with different muscle groups. It can be with the same muscle group. So another word that I'm going to get into is going to be antagonist training. You can have superset antagonist training. Well, you can have the same muscle group supersets. So like doing 2 back exercises at the same time. So like doing the seated row and also doing the lat pull down, they're both working your bat. And so after you get done working the lat pull down, you're going to immediately go and hit the seated row. And so that's going to be one superset. Another type of set that you have is a straight set. Most people don't really talk about this one just because it's like not like something people really remember the term for, just because most programs don't even like list them like this. But a straight set is basically how you would normally work out. So if I'm doing bench press, I'm going to do all my bench press sets, and then I'm going to go do my lat sets, my lat pull down sets, and then I'm going to do my squat sets. That would be a straight set. So you're just doing all of the sets for one exercise. So this is the opposite of circuit training, where you are going to be doing like one exercise and then you're going to go straight to another exercise, and then after that you're going to go to one exercise before you get back to the first exercise that you were doing. So I personally always do straight sets because I don't like circuit training. So you can do however you like. It all functions the same. It's just that circuit training, you're gonna have a little bit longer of a rest period, maybe assuming that your circuit's like, you know, working different muscles in between and it's not one circuit just training the same muscle the entire time. But generally a circuit is going to be working multiple muscle groups so that by the time you get back to the first exercise, your muscle is well rested and it's ready to go again. But at the same time, a straight set, you can just, you know, do the rest in between each set. The next word is going to be concentric. This is basically the way a rep is done, like whether you're pushing. There are two, there's concentric and there's eccentric. I'm going to read them because sometimes they can actually be really confusing for some people. So the actual definition for concentric is a type of isotonic muscle contraction in which the muscle develops tension and shortens when stimulated. So an example of this is going to be when you are pulling a bicep curl. When you're going like this, the upward movement on a bicep curl is when your muscle is going to be shortening because it is contracting. It is pulling the muscle fibers together. On the other hand, and we're just going to plot these two terms together, eccentric is where your muscle is lengthening. But anyways, as I was saying, the next word is time under tension. So this is basically during a rep, during a set. Usually they say that a set should take a certain number of seconds. Generally they say anywhere between 35 to 40 seconds is like a good set. So as you another word that I'll get into probably later on is progressive overloading, but making sure that making the set difficult can be increased. So the intensity can be increased by how long you are actually taking to do one set. So this can be slow concentric, it can be a slow eccentric, it can be pulling the bar down or pulling the bicep curl up, whichever one that you're doing. And that light just really came in. And pausing. Usually they will say pause for a second and just like slowly returning that muscle back to its full length. So time under tension, it's not something, if you're just starting out, you're gonna naturally do this because you're gonna be taking the sets a little bit slower. So like you don't need to worry about it, but those who have been working out for quite some time and are struggling to try and make their sets more difficult, one thing that you can always do is increase your time under tension. People don't like to believe it, but as soon as you start trying to do bench press pauses, you're gonna find out that your working weight is significantly lower than you actually think it is, especially if you're training for size. and your rep ranges need to be a little bit more in the 12 to 15 range. You're gonna find out that it's at least maybe half of what you originally thought it was, if not 75%. So one thing that I did forget to put into here, antagonistic training. I don't think this is really a word that, you know, you're gonna see a lot when you're first starting out, but because I did mention it beforehand, basically antagonistic training is when you are training the opposite muscles in a group. So for instance, just because it's the easiest, your bicep, you have your bicep and you have your tricep. So antagonistic training would be to train your biceps and then to within the next set train your triceps. So it's kind of that superset idea. Usually antagonistic training is going to be roughly superset. I don't do it too frequently. I guess I kind of antagonist train because after I do my biceps, I will go do my triceps, or after I do my triceps, I'll do my biceps. They just kind of are always worked within the same general time frame. So I'm doing straight set antagonistic training, I guess you can say. Fitness is, it's all over the place sometimes. A lot of things, there's a lot of intersectionality within fitness. But some common abbreviations that I feel like you guys should know, just because if you are getting a workout program or you see it on something, and I have it pulled up right here because I would not forget and remember all of these. LP is going to be your leg press. BP is your bench press. DL is your deadlifts. DB is dumbbells. BB is going to be barbell. And in terms of like your actual body, BW is your body weight. So if you're doing something that requires a body weight exercise, you're gonna probably see BW. OHP is overhead press. PR is your personal record. RM is the range of motion. SQ is squats, and KB is kettlebells. So those are some quick abbreviations that I think I see coming up very frequently all the time. Obviously you can abbreviate just about everything, but these are the ones that I see most frequently popping up, and I can almost guarantee you will see at least a handful of times if you are just searching through workout programs or anything like that, or just reading or on Reddit and looking at pictures and people's goals and things like that. That's what you will most definitely see all of these. Usually you're going to see bench press, deadlift, and squats. I don't know why. Well, I do know why, because usually a lot of people are doing the 5x5 program, and those are like the primary ones. I don't do deadlifts. I've said this before, so you'll never see me talking about deadlifts. I don't squat anymore either. I really just don't train my legs. I do the leg press, and that's about it. Unless I'm with my girl, in which case when I'm training with her, I will make that my full leg day, and I'll do squats and leg press and leg curls and leg extensions and everything like that on those days. But generally when I'm just by myself, I'm doing leg presses. But yes, as usual, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Oh, actually, rewind, pause, play. So some of you guys might be wondering why I didn't mention strength and hypertrophy in this episode, and that is because I will be doing either 2 whole videos for those 2 separately, just because they are such big topics, and like I want to really give each one the time to really go over and explain them, or I'll do one really long video where I compare the 2 so that you can kind of understand the differences in terms of reps, sets, rest times in between them, as well as kind of like I think I already said the pros and cons, but basically just like the general differences and overlappings that the two have. So that's why I did not mention strength and hypertrophy or training for size in this. But as usual, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, share, put a comment down below, put a comment on my last video if you guys are really loving this. Please guys, let's blow up the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe, hit the bell notification so that you can stay up to date on when I post videos. My battery's dying, so I'm going fast. My battery's always dying when I'm doing these. But I can't wait to see you guys again. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. If you did, please just put a little comment down below saying that you liked the video. And as usual, it is your boy Matt Turner out. I will see you guys again. I hope you have a great day, whether it's morning, evening, or night. Oh, and have a fabulous holiday weekend and Thanksgiving. Bye.